Shalom, Israel. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kakwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to like I'm dead, doing this work of faith and labor of love and true sincerity. Now, I just want to get into a basic lesson, about, the Lord being for everybody, you know. Of course, it's very basic, but, these people out here, they always want to talk about, or if you talk to somebody about anything scriptural, just to test the person's knowledge and, to see where they at. And this is all they have to say to try and defend themselves is that the Lord is for everybody, man. But it's clear when you dive into the scriptures and get out of your feelings and emotions who the Lord is truly for. All right. So this is Second Ezra's. It's like Second Ezra 6 and verse 53, it says, "Upon the sixth day thou gavest commandment unto the earth, that before thee it should bring forth beasts, cattle, and creeping things. After these things Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures. Of him come we all, and the people whom thou hast chosen. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sake." What? Basically the chosen line of Adam. He made it for his people's sake, right? As for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. Okay, so this is clear cut. Why would Ezra be speaking in this manner about the other nations if this weren't true? Why would he be doing that? Was he out of pocket for doing what he did or for saying what he said? No, right? Um, and because the scripture that pretty much backs that point and says the same thing, just in case for those so-called Christians who don't believe in the Apocrypha, it's all throughout the scriptures, man. Isaiah 40:15. "Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are counted as the small dust of the balance." So just how, Ezra was comparing the other nations and saying that they was like unto nothing and be like unto spittle, this is the same thing. Because it said what? "Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket." So that's like spittle, man. If they are as a drop of a bucket and are counted as a small dust of the earth, of the balance, behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. And Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the beasts thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. What? For them to be counted as something unto the Lord, because the Lord didn't choose them. So they could have burned all of the whole trees, out there in Lebanon, all the cedar woods and whatever other trees they get out there, and all of the beasts for a sacrifice unto the Lord, right? And it still wouldn't matter. They still will not be the Lord's chosen. They still wouldn't be called by the Most High, right? Verse 17, "All nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing and vanity." So these all the other nations, right? All the other nations. But what one chosen people who the Lord is talking about, that is pretty much his, right? Deuteronomy 32 and 7, it says, "Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is a lot of his inheritance," man. All of this stuff is plain to the point. Clear cut, plain to the point, man. Right? And it's just amazing, how people will constantly disregard all the basic statements that the scripture make to get straight to the point about who the Lord is for, who the Lord has chosen, and who he has not chosen. You know, it's not just based off of the New Testament. You know, all you church going idiots out there, it's not just based off of the New Testament. You try to treat the New Testament like it's a whole completely different a book from the Old Testament when they go hand in hand. The Lord said in Malachi 3 and 6, I am the Lord, I'll change not. Okay, so the Old Testament and the New Testament, meaning what? The Old and the New Covenant, pretty much, that the Lord made between him and the children of Israel, but with him and our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, down to, the 12 tribes. That Old Covenant and the New Covenant still all applies to the same nation, right? Amos 3 and 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. Okay, so the Lord has only known us out of all the nations upon the face of the earth, man. That's why we get punished. That's why we're in the low estates that we're constantly in, for that fact, right? This Psalms 78 and 4, and it reads, "Oh, we will not hide them from their children, showing to the generation to come the praises of the Lord and his strength and his wonderful works that he have done. For he have established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers that they should make them known to their children, that the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children, that they might set their hope in Yahweh and not forget the works of Yahweh, but keep his commandments." So this is how everything is supposed to go. You're supposed to pass things from generation to generation. Where do you get that from? That all established by the scriptures, man. And it's established by the laws within the scriptures that this nation, America, claims that they follow, where they try to say one nation under God and all of that. They claim that they follow the laws, but don't follow none of them. This doesn't apply to the whole nation, man. That's a prime thing right there to show you that, man. And the reason why our people wasn't able to pass these on, the law, statutes, and commandments, and our overall inheritance on down the line, was because of slavery, man, which is foretold all throughout the scriptures. Jeremiah 17 and 4, thou shalt discontinue from thine heritage, man. But now we're back to our heritage, to reclaim what was ours, and to enter into that new testament, or that new covenant with the Lord Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shah, who the world enemy calls Jesus and God, man. What else do I want to go to? I want to go to Romans. Just basic, man, because you so-called Christians out there, you people out there, y'all be getting on my nerves sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, with all of this little, just simple stuff, no real knowledge of the scriptures. Just blabbering off at the mouth, man, which is ridiculous, man. People just like to talk just because they got lips, literally, man. It's Romans 9 and 1. I say the truth in Hamashiach, I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Spirit, that I have great heaviness and continued sorrow in my heart, for I could wish that myself were accursed from Yahweh Shah for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the services of Yahweh and the promises. Okay, verse 5. Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ came, who is over all power, blessed forever, to Wab. Right? So, so concerning the flesh, of who Yahweh Shah came for, who is that? The Israelites, man. And that still applies to this day, going into the old and the new covenants. It's plain as day, man. Plain as day. Hebrews, the 8th chapter. Hebrews 8 and 7. For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he said, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant, or the promise, for this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. And that he saith, A new covenant he have made, the first old. Now that which decayeth and waxeth old is ready to vanish. So, hey, the Lord is making that new covenant with the house of Judah and the house of Israel, bringing them together. As what? Israel, man. Israelites, the whole 12 tribes, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that applies to this current day, man. So you people need to get out your feelings with all of this. The Lord is for everybody, you know what I'm saying, and all of that. You got to get into the Hebrew, the Greek, and just get proper understandings of the scriptures in general, man. That's why a lot of people out here, they just going to perish, plain and simple, because they can't get with the program of getting out of their feelings and exactly accepting what is true, right, and exact, man. So with that, hope this short segment was edifying. And I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, the Pawanas, to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to Lek out there, doing this work of faith and labor of love and true sincerity. Shalom.